Hello friends, welcome to TMXing Adventures. Lisa here. Today I'm going to show you a recipe that I have not shared probably, maybe not in 5 years. This is a recipe I used to use in my TM31 days when my boys were babies and I was a new consultant, and I used to use this even into TM5 days because it was one of these recipes I could just get home from somewhere in the afternoon. I could chuck it into the Thermomix. I could then be like, right, bath time, everyone in the bath. And by the time we heard it sing, it was time to get out, dry off, and be ready for dinner. And it was perfect by the time we kind of had it on the table. I could also do so many different things with it. I could add so many different ingredients. I could use it in different ways. And it was 4 steps. So today I'm going to share it with you. It is not a guided recipe. It is manual, which means you can make it on any model Thermomix. There is one adjustment I'm going to make today using it on a TM7, which you'll need to change for a TM31 or a TM5. I'll talk about that and why, and it's really just, an embellishment. It's not actually necessary, but I want to give it a try today and see what it turns out like. So we're going to today start by making, and if you haven't guessed from the title what it is, it's risotto, okay? So risotto is like one of the standout dishes of the Thermomix world. It's been on our demo menu since I think 1999 when we got the Thermomix to Australia. It's one that I actually very rarely do at a demo, to be completely honest, but it is a really great hands-free dish. And let me tell you, my kids lived on it for their first 6 years of life because I could just come in the door and I could hide so many veggies into it. So come with me today. Let me show you how easy this can be. And as I said, non-guided. So today I've got to start off with 1 onion quartered. Now I've quartered it because I want to use the high heat mode to cook that off. You could add garlic. I'm going to add bacon today, but there has been many times when I have chopped off carrot, zucchini, capsicum. Kids used to call it fried rice. Hello Janelle, lovely to see you on, because it kind of had that real capsicum, carrot, zucchini, fried rice vibe to it. And then I'm going to put some oil into it. So that, by the way, was about 200 grams of bacon. That's because it's what I've got. I'm going to cook it off. Oh, that's what I don't have, much oil. That's okay. I could put butter into it. I didn't grab the butter out. So I'm just going to work with what I've got today. It's not going to cook off as good as I hoped. And I don't have anything on hand to swap in. Do I? Oh, I do. Hang on. Sunflower oil. This is our mayonnaise oil, but it'll do the job. So you want about 40 grams, 50 grams. In total, in normal risotto recipes, you'll see it says 40 grams of olive oil, 40 grams of butter. So it says 80 grams. So you're looking somewhere between that 40 and 80. If you need it to be dairy-free, of course, just use oil. All right, so next up, we've got a cook-off. So I cut it in wedges so that I didn't have to, so that I could high heat it. Now on a TM7, I've got high heat here available to me. So I'm going to go to browning mode, and I'm going to say, hey, I want to cook this off, and I don't want 10 minutes. Actually, I'm going to need maybe 5. And I don't want it to be gentle, game on. I want it to be intensive today. I'm going to let that go. Now, if you're on a TM31 or a TM5 or a TM6, you can use Vorwerk. Just set it for 3 to 5 minutes on that temperature, and it's going to cook off similarly. Not quite the same, but it'll do. Okay, for me, like on TM31, that's what we did, right? We didn't have it any different, so we just did that. If you want to put garlic in the beginning, of course you put garlic in there. I've put sun-dried tomato before. I've put all sorts of things can go into this first step. Now I am going to chop this down a little bit, which means I am going to lose my bacon a little bit in there, but I'm not too worried about that. Hey Kim, hey Kathy, lovely to see you on today. Thanks for saying hi. So this is the start. Now, if you wanted to add, say, some diced up chicken or something into this later, and I'm making it really simple for lunch today. Bacon is it. You can dice up some chicken breast right now and be ready for later. There is literally 3 more steps and 3 ingredients to go. That's what I like about risotto. And if you know, now I used to have it written on my tiles at my splashback in my old house. I used to have on there exactly what I needed next. See, one of the key ingredients you're going to need is veggie stock. Okay, if you don't have your veggie stock or beef or chicken stock that you've made in your Thermomix, put it on your to-dos. I plead with you to put it on your to-dos, okay? So worth having that always on hand. It is such a flavor enhancer. You know exactly what's in it, and it's just amazing, okay? So just do that. By the way, this is sizzling off. I just want to hug it. It's just, the amount of times in the last few days I've been doing lots of recording and cooking with the TM7. I think I've actually got, and you can't see them all, but I've got over 50 TM7 videos on my YouTube already, which I didn't realize till yesterday, and I had to look through. There's a handful that you will not be able to see, okay? But there's some that are going to come up later, and there's some that go directly to my Patreon supporters, and there's things in there that go directly to my new owners, so that you can't see them all. But I was blown away to know that I've actually already done over 50 videos there, which is super cool. So yeah, but the amount of times I come and I check, I'm like, are you cooking still, Thermy? And I lift it up, oh yeah, still cooking, it's all good. And looking for this pulsing, if I have the patience to look for the pulsing. It's not fast enough. And it's a long time to stand and watch sometimes. All right, so today the other ingredients you're going to need is water and arborio rice. Arborio rice is risotto rice. Now there's something at the end of this recipe that can sometimes trick you when you're making a risotto, and it means you end up with a gluggy risotto, which is terrible, okay? And it is that at the end of the cook, you really don't want to serve it straight away. It is a bit like sauces and things like that that need a moment to sit, to thicken. And in the case of arborio rice, it needs a moment to just suck in the last of that moisture. And if you try and cook that through, you glugify it. And it just doesn't work. We used to at demos put it in the Thermo server. These days I just leave it in the bowl for the odd demo. I actually did 2 on the weekend, 2 risotto demos, and I think they're the first 2 risotto demos I have done in about 12 months. And by the way, mushroom risotto is amazing if my kids would eat mushrooms. If you want to hide mushrooms, chop them in at the first step when you're chopping your onion, okay? So I've wedged my onion so that it can go in on this high heat today with just a minute and a bit to go. I'm going to have a little sticky beak. You ready? Look quick at the top camera before it fogs up. Let's have a look together. Oh my goodness, it smells amazing. That is awesome. Now excuse me for 1 second, because I know I'm live on Facebook today, but I just need to get my arborio rice out of the drawer, because we're going to use this in a moment. Now something really important when you're doing risottos and using arborio rice is actually the cooking off of the rice. So our next step is to actually cook off this rice. If you don't cook this rice off, it doesn't seal the grain, and the starch just goes to a gluggy mess. So your first step in making a risotto is ingredients in and chop them to what you want, okay? If you're doing a TM31, TM5, TM6. If you're doing TM7, we're going to high heat it to get that beautiful onion caramelized a bit more. Then we're going to chop ours. But you would chop, and then you'll cook for 3 to 5 minutes at Varoma to cook them off. Then you're going to add your rice, okay? The rice is going to be cooked off, and then we're going to add everything else and walk away. And this is why I used to love it for my kids when they were little, because I walked away for 15 minutes. Hello, Liz. Lovely to see you on today as well. So you're going to need 300, and I used to actually use, so risotto rice, arborio rice, normally comes in 1 kilo packets. So most recipes call for 320 grams. Can you guess how much I used? 330 grams, so that I didn't have 30 grams left in the packet at the end. So there's a little tip for you as well. This smells so good. All right, we're going to chop it. So let's get back to manual mode. It's not going to take long. I reckon 3 seconds, speed 7. So let's go 3 seconds. Come over here. It says 8, and then we'll go down to 7. Press play. Let's let this chop off. Love that little dance. Okay, now I want my scales. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. All right, scales up. We want, so as I said, 320, but if you got that 1 kilo packet, make it 330. There's no point having that little bit left over. So, arborio rice. In it goes. I've got to say, as I said, I made this for the kids so much in their younger years. We actually don't have it that much these days. I think I overdid it, sadly. Now, if your recipe ever says to put the butterfly in at this point in time, save yourself the hassle and the washing up. Don't worry about it. So at this point in time, we're going to put a cook on, and we're going to cook it at 2 minutes, 120 degrees, reverse. Reverse is very, 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 very important, okay? Because otherwise you're going to, I'm going to tell you a story actually, otherwise you're going to make a mess. So, and then just on, let's go slow spoon. Where are you, slow spoon? Back down here. Plate. So I remember doing a demo after, I think Toby, my youngest, was born. And I think he was teeny tiny. It was my first demo after I had him. I might have even had him in a carrier at the demo. I remember going to this beautiful house in Cleveland and doing a demo, and I think she might have just bought one. It might have been like a learning demo. But she was, the beautiful, the host who had bought the Thermomix was cooking away and doing amazing things. And we're halfway through and I'm kind of talking and I'm like, what is that smell? What is burning? And then I've stopped the Thermomix and looked, and somehow it might, so this would have been TM 5 days, okay? Because that's how old he is now. He's 9. But we stopped the Thermomix and somehow she had skipped the step of water. So this Thermomix has been cooking off onion, mushrooms, rice, stock with only that beginning little bit of oil for nearly 15 minutes. It was like 12 minutes. And I was like, I don't know what to do at this point in time. It's the only time mushroom risotto has ever been mucked up at one of my demos. Anyway, we added the water, we cooked it. Texture actually came out okay. Taste was horrific. So we quickly cleaned up the Thermomix, opened her pantry. She had a packet of dried pasta. She had tins of tomato. She had bacon in the freezer. And so we whipped up a creamy tomato salami fettuccine with no salami, with a different type of pasta, with bacon instead. And it worked out perfectly and it was saved. But I just remember having this little baby on me and going, what is this smell? It was the fact that the water, so the water component is super important. It is actually 720 grams of water. And that's going to go in a second and we're going to finish this off. Now the original recipe calls for wine. You can do it if you'd like, but I didn't bother when the kids are little. I was looking for quick and easy. So it was chop what I want into it, cook them off for a couple of minutes. And you know, with this high heat, we do it in reverse. We cook it, then we chop it, okay? But in the simple days, all the veggies in, chop them, oil, cook them, rice in, cook for another 2 minutes, and then in with, oh my goodness, smells so good. Kettle. The kettle's not boiled, just using it as a water vessel, 720 grams. And then we need veggie stock, because I think that's actually a magic ingredient in this, is your veggie stock lifts all the flavors. It kind of, on your tongue, it kind of goes parallel. It activates so many of your taste buds. And that's why it's so amazing. Okay. Now, some customers have said to me, but it tastes so salty. But my response is, would you lick a stock cube? You know, those silver wrap stock cubes at the supermarket? No, because they would be incredibly salty too. And so don't eat it. All right. 1 generous tablespoon of this if you're making enough for a family serve. Okay, I do like to, at this point, if I have time, and I don't always do this, but I do like to scrape the bottom. I don't know where my TM7 spatula is. Been doing so much cooking lately. Nope, not up there either. So scrape the bottom at this stage. And at this stage, it might scare you a little bit. Does that not look incredibly soupy and gross? But let me tell you, in 15 minutes, which is your next time you need to know. So literally, let's put this on and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do a bit of a recap of the steps. So 15 minutes, 120 degrees, reverse, 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 no mucking up those little things. And then we're just going to put it on slow spoon. So 4 steps. First one, if you're on a TM31, TM5, TM6, chop whatever you want into it. Onions, garlic, carrots, zucchini, capsicum, sun-dried tomatoes, whatever you like. Chop it. Add oil. Cook it 3 to 5 minutes at your hottest temperature you can. Okay, now this is for 31s, 5s and 6s. Add your rice. Cook 2 more minutes. Make sure it's on reverse. You now have rice in there, okay? If you were going to add chicken or something to it at this point in time, you'd also do it at this next step now. Sorry, I hit the microphone. So rice, that cooks for 2 minutes. Now we put the water in with the stock and we cook for 15 minutes in total, boiling it off beautifully. Okay, this is the point in time with the water and the stock where you would add anything raw that needs 15 minutes to cook. So diced up chicken bits, would go in now. If you had some beef you wanted to put into it, it would go in now. Okay, so in total, this recipe is done in under 20 minutes. And you've got 15 minutes of that to go do more important things than standing in the kitchen. Now, of course, you can embellish this as you like. You can add that wine, just take out a little bit of the water to change for the wine. But this is really the base, and you can go from here with what you like. So this is my risotto recipe from when my babies were little and I needed to feed them without spending time in the kitchen. I loved the Thermomix, and I'm so incredibly grateful for the Thermomix in those days because it was hectic. 4 under 5 was a little crazy. But my Thermomix saved me time and time again. Between risotto and creamy salami fettuccine, without the fettuccine, without the salami, with whatever I could find, often vegetarian, game changers, but always enhanced both of those dishes with this. Okay, so give this a go. Tell me what you think. I know manual cooking might seem scary to you, but write it down on a piece of paper. You just need 330 grams of risotto rice, 720 grams of water, and a scoop of veggie stock, and the rest of it you play with. Okay, you make it your own. Now we do have guided recipes, so if you preference a guided recipe or you've brand new and you're not confident to use them, that's what they're there for, okay? But if you're looking for something where you're like, okay, I just need step 1, 2, 3, 4, this is your 1, 2, 3, 4, because it is 4 steps, and I love that. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this today. I hope you can take something away from this. Remember, rest it at the end. It needs 5 minutes of non-cooking just to sit there and suck in the last of that water. Okay, that's 99% of the time when people say my risotto's not cooked, I'm like, just ignore it for 5 minutes, come back in 5, it'll be amazing. They come back in 5 and say, it is amazing. So give that a go. But otherwise, I hope you're having a great day. Can you please share this video? If you've got someone in your life who has a Thermomix, maybe it's the person who introduced you to the Thermomix, maybe it's a family member, a friend, a colleague at work, share these videos with them because they need to get more out of their Thermomix because there's so many things that a 31, a 5, a 6 or a 7 can help you with in your kitchen. And it's really my goal and my mission to make sure you get the very most out of it. If you do want to get a TM7 on the bench, reach out. I'd love to be the one who helps you. If you live in Australia, I can do that. Anywhere in Australia, okay? So if you would like that, please reach out. If you've got questions about recipes, you need help with something, with your recipe, Thermomix, whatever it is, don't ever hesitate to reach out. But otherwise, take care, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.